Time for 10 About Town.
WBIR 10 News reporter Katie Inman joins us live with an event that will turn a town square into a work of art, and she's getting in on the fun herself this morning. Hey there.
Good morning, Heather and Abby. That's right. We are here at the Oak Ridge Street Painting Festival, and the sidewalks may be bare right now, but tomorrow they are going to be filled with color. I'm joined now with Dr. Driscoll. He's the executive director at Roane State Community College. And tell us a little bit about what's new this year. What's happening that hasn't happened in past years?
Well, there are a couple things that are new with the Street Painting Festival, organized by Roane State and Rotary Club of Oak Ridge. First, we're doing it here in Jackson Square, which is really the historic heart of Oak Ridge. And one of the new things we're doing this year is what we're calling the Ed Westcott Challenge. Ed Westcott was the Manhattan Project photographer, and one of the ways we wanted to honor his form of art was to challenge artists to do a creative interpretation of his famous War Ends photo. Now, it's going to be very tough for artists. They may want to kind of do their own original work, but for those who want to accept the challenge, we're looking for a very creative, unique interpretation of his famous photo that was taken not too far from where we're standing right now that celebrated the end of World War II and the work of the Manhattan Project.
Wow, certainly a special thing that you all are doing too. And there's some cash prizes involved with this tomorrow as well. The whole thing kicks off tomorrow at 8 a.m. and artist registration is completely free. Cash prizes available, and the Ed Westcott Challenge is something that you can take part in and maybe win an extra prize. So for now, we'll go ahead and send it back to you, but we are getting pretty creative over here, chalking it up over here in Oak Ridge. Back to you.
I love it.
Beautiful.
Boy, kids would have a blast out there,
Yeah,
wouldn't
they
they?
would. They
Thank
sure
you
would.
very much, Katie. Well,